Hello everyone, this is Charlotte and this podcast called Chatting in Cars. It's where I talk about topics while I drive. Soon to have a break soon because it's coming up to Easter, so you might not see me for 2 weeks or so because the work just isn't there, so I don't need to drive there. There's a disclaimer at the start of this podcast because I do talk about sensitive topics and I do swear quite a bit. I enjoy it unapologetically. If I don't live in my authenticity, I'm just gonna have to shrivel up and die, so I'm going to be swearing because I consider it part of my authenticity, so I go with what I feel. So if you don't want to hear all that, and you don't have to because some people get offended by swear words and random noises, some people get offended by talking about topics. As far as I see it, this is a space for again, the wrong gear. Why do I do that? This is just a space for ideas, man. It's shower thoughts. You don't have to believe it. It's not sacrament. It's just open space, and most of the time it's just thought therapy anyway. It's just talking to myself, shower thoughts. So if you don't want to hear it, change the channel, find something else to watch. Alright, so the topic for today is dreams. Oh hello, this is that intersection I hate, so give me a sec. Now, when I'm talking about dreams, Jesus Christ, I'm talking about the subconscious thoughts, the collection of thoughts that you have whilst you're sleeping, obviously. You can do daydreams. I like doing daydreams. I consider it astral planing. It's like, you want to be somewhere else. It's a form of escapism, realistically. And I'll get into that in a minute because I do like to engage in a bit of astral planing. To be honest, it's more like quite suggestive astral planing usually. But dreams, for example, you have those. Anyone else get those really weird, vivid dreams? And you're hoping it's induced by some kind of food that you've eaten or something like that, or maybe you're just under stress. But realistically, you have those weird fucking dreams. Like, I've had some weird fucking dreams, and they're always color, and it always looks like a photo, like moving, like film. I've had discussions with other people where they don't see images in their head as like real life, or what is real life really, realistically, our interpretation of their surrounds. But it's always vivid and always feels real, and I have trouble deciphering sometimes what's real until something completely out of the ordinary comes out and you go, no, wait a minute, yeah. I'm sure that there's a lot of people that have that problem. Is it a problem? I used to get freaked out when I was a little kid because I was having these horrible dreams. Like, a lot of my dreams at the moment, or in general, come from like PTS, night terrors. I have a lot of flashbacks, for example, from my childhood, things that I've dulled down in my conscious state that I blank out. I've got a lot of black spots in my memory, but they'll come back in the subconscious state when I'm more relaxed. So I'll remember things that happened to me in my dreams and stuff like that. And you think, fuck, why did you bring that cool memory back? It's not exactly a nice experience to be remembering that shit. Besides the, cringe feelings you get in general, with the internal screaming. So, things I don't want to remember. But in my dream state, everything's very vivid, colourful. And it's difficult to decipher what's actually occurring at the time because your brain is so relaxed. And you just kind of take, what are you doing, you crackheads? And you kind of just take, what is it with traffic people? They just wander around. Anyway, you just take it as it is until something like completely absurd happens. That's my ringtone. Which kind of knocks you out of that sense of, oh no, wait a minute, this isn't right. For example, PBS dreams aside, remembering shit that I don't want to. I used to have like weird dreams, like one that stands out that I remember was being in a World War II bunker, and I was having to try and garrote and or strangle someone, and it was a foxhole. It was just a pit, and I remember it was World War II because we had the uniforms on. I wasn't a German. I was trying to kill a German. So I didn't even know this guy. I was sitting there trying to fucking choke the fucker out. I'm sitting there going, what the fuck? And I kept trying, and I'm sitting there, this fucker's not gonna die. And it's really weird. weird because I'm not the aggressive type and I'm not the violent type when it comes to that. I mean, I have, you know, anger in me, but I'm not the kind that will take it out on someone physically anymore. Not to the point where I'm sitting there trying to grow up the fucker. But it was this panic and desperation. I'm sitting there going, if I don't do this, this fucker's going to try and kill me. And I don't know if that's like a past memory or some shit. Like, you could, some people believe in reincarnation. These are past memories. So maybe, I mean, it's possible, because I do say all things, you know, are possible. Or maybe it was, you know, in my DNA, it's a memory from someone who I'm related to way back, has passed this down in my sort of DNA as a memory. And I'm just sitting there thinking, I've lived this experience in this dream and I'm remembering it now, but it's terrifying. It feels real, and the panic that goes with it is horrible situations. But it was so vivid. I'm sitting there going, I could see, you could almost smell the muskiness of the dirt and the silt around you, and you're like, fuck, I've done this. I don't know, remember doing it because I was a dude in that dream. Quite clearly I'm not a dude. I was a like 30-odd-year-old dude, and I'm sitting there going, I'm garroting this German guy, and I was like, and you wake up with the cold sweat and the panic, and you go, fuck me, have I done that in a past life or some shit like that? I have really weird dreams like that. So that's one. It's a fun element, to be honest, because you get to imagine yourself in a different scenarios. Like, quite clearly in these circumstances I would not have done that, because it's just not possible at this point. But it's interesting to us, you know, have a think that it might have happened in a past life. Other dreams I get, I see signs of what, you know, things that happen, but then like I see interpretations of things that could happen, and then they take a different format in the 3D, if that makes sense. The human psyche, I swear there's something more to the human psyche than they're letting on. All these scientists that sit there going, we've mapped out the brain and it's fantastic, we know all the bits and pieces, we know what they do. It's like, there's got to be more, because it doesn't make sense. And I've looked into things like psychology and stuff like that. I've got a degree in psychology because I want to understand these circumstances more. I mean, where are these ideas coming from? These abstracts where we're making up reality and subconscious. I mean, and people will say there's got to be meaning to your dreams, or there is some subconscious meaning to your dreams. So if you see like a green snake in your dream, it could be good fortune depending on the culture you come from, or it could be betrayal. So I take an interest in that kind of stuff because, you know, I'm pretty open-minded. I like that kind of weird stuff. What did I see the other day? Oh, Christ. I did see a green snake the other day. But it got its ass handed to it. You know? A few months ago, I had a dream where I was teaching in a kindy, and this snake turned up and it tried to go for the kids. And I'm sitting at the fucking snake, because I live in Australia. We've got that ingrained in our psyche now. It's like, fucking snake, kill it. There's no protection here. It's like, if one comes at you, kill it. We try to feel nice about the animals, because I love animals. But I swear to God, a snake goes near me or my kids, I'll fucking kill it. I don't give a shit about protection orders and shit. I know what they can do. I've seen what they can do to a small child. You don't risk it. But I'm sitting there screaming, grab that fucking snake, because it was running right at my kindy kids, and someone grabbed it, or it got run over by a bus or something like that, and its head got caved in, and it got its ass handed to it, and I thought, oh, fucking great. But it wasn't just a case of like a dugite or something, or a brown snake, which are pretty common in Australia. It was like a brilliant green, light green snake. But it got owned, and I picked it up and I had its head caved in. I'm going, it's a bit gross. I felt bad afterwards, but at the same time I was sitting there going, these are my fucking kids, you know. No snake is coming near my kids, I know what it does to them. But then after that I'm sitting there going, why would you put such a, and it was like a brilliant light green, it was python, brilliant light green. And it's like this kind of snake that is just not native to Australia. And you think, oh, where the fuck did this come from? And some people say it's good luck to have a bright green snake in it. Some people think it's to do with the Kundalini rising. Some people think it's to do with potentially threatening, you know, innocence or some shit like that. And I've looked into the dream side of it. I just found it fascinating. I'm sitting there going, where have I pulled this fucking snake from? It's like in my subconscious psyche. Like, it means something because it's just so fucking random. I mean, usually if you have one of those weird dreams, it's because you pulled in things from like the day to day. Like I've had dreams, for example, about celebrities because, you know, you've been looking at like fucking some shit on YouTube or something like that, and you go, oh yeah, that's where I pulled that from, because today I looked at that article about this. But it was such a random thing, and it felt real, and my panic mode went into like overload. I'm like, get a fucking snake. It's good to know how I would react in a real life scenario though. I was like, fucking kill that thing. But it's fascinating, and I'm sitting there, and I have other dreams as well, and I'm pretty sure other people have them too, or maybe you just forget when you wake up, because I do tend to forget a lot of things. But a few things stand out, and it's interesting to see how they translate into the 3D like a couple of days afterwards as well. It's really weird. Like when I was going out with my ex-boyfriend, I kept having dreams about him cheating. I'm going, something in this energy is telling me that something's wrong, and he would call me paranoid. And I'm sitting there, but something feels wrong. And you sit there and think, is it dreams or is it intuition? Is gut feeling? Something feels wrong. It's not. It wasn't just paranoia in the end. It was actually cheating. But you go, you bastard. It's like, but at the time, this was in the love bombing stage when I'm sitting there thinking, well, he's doing all the right things, and he's giving me the impression that he actually wants to be here and stuff. And whilst I don't quite trust him, that could be. And you try to reason out. It's like, I don't trust him because I've had all these bad experiences before. Well, this one bad experience, to be honest, with this one person. But you know, I'm trying to, you know, settle that in my mind while I try with a new person. But I kept having ongoing dreams that he was just never there. There would be an energy of him or an essence of him. I'd feel him in the room, but in the dream, but he was never fucking there. He was always with someone else somewhere else. And it was weird, but he'd still be fucking present in the room. You know how you get like, you know there's a heater on in the room because you know where in the room it is? You can almost feel the heat coming from that direction. It's like you knew it was there, but at the same time you never saw the fucking thing. And I took that as a sign. It's like I'm sitting there trying to reason this out and so, am I being paranoid? Am I being a bit overly cautious maybe, or am I reading into this too much? But it was unsettling. And it plagued me all the way through the relationship, even through breakups and things like this. I'm sitting there going, there's something wrong here. It's just, it doesn't sit right. Something's wrong. You know? And that's a sort of skill set or trait that's been passed through my family. My mom has the same weird dreams. My grandma, who was Galway Irish gypsy, same dreams. So obviously something's been passed down. Maybe it's a gift, maybe it's just general trauma, I don't know. But you know, when you listen to your gut feeling, you see something in the dreams, you want to understand it a bit better in case it is something important. And in this case, it turned out it was important. He wasn't there. He was with someone else, doing something else. Untrustworthy, completely untrustworthy. It was my subconscious and my gut feeling telling me, not this one. Not this one. And the dreams always happened in the same place. It was this big wooden house. It was like, I had about, 9 or 10 dreams, different varying topics, and there was always this big wooden house with a couple of layers and floors, and I could recognize, I knew where everything was in the house, and maybe that was a residual thing from a past life or something. Maybe we lived together in this big wooden fucking house. I don't know. It resembled semi a saloon, if I could draw it, at least I know, those people that can draw for identity kits and things for the police. I fucking envy those, because I wish I could draw what I see. And then it might make sense, but it's always the same places over and over again. Like I used to have nightmares about tidal waves on the cliffs of Moher. Now the cliffs of Moher on the west coast of Ireland, it's black cliffs. You can't mistake them for anywhere else. Unless you go off to fucking Iceland or something, I don't know. Somewhere up there. But I would be standing at the base of these fucking cliffs, and it's black cliffs. Brilliant green turf on top, but black cliffs right at the base. It's black sand and shit like that. And I'd be standing there near enough. I'd be playing on the beach like it's anything else, and then there'd be this massive fucking tidal wave coming. Oh, 333. Number plate. I love number plates. But I'd be panicking, and I'd be panicking. I'm sitting there going, this fucking tidal wave coming, and I'm trapped at the base of this fucking cliff, and I can't get out. What the fuck do I do? And in the end, I kept having these dreams, and I just went, fuck it, this time I'll just embrace it. So there's got to be some kind of subconscious, and I was fine. And I breathed underwater, and I was fine. So there's got to be some kind of subconscious meaning behind the dreams, because why would you have such repetitive signs and synchronicities to stuff that is just irrelevant? I've never been to the base of the cliffs of Moher. I've been on top. I've run along the top and stuff like that, and it's really nice actually, because they've completely touristed it out. There's now an information center and a cafe. It's really nice. You can have scones. You can have a pint if you want. But you know, but this was when I sit there and I think, have I had a past life here? Have I done this? Was I like hunting for cockles or some shit, mussels down here? And I just don't remember. And I didn't escape. Maybe I drowned or something. But in the end, I was fine because I just breathed the water, and I was like, it's just such an obscure dream, but a repetitive one that makes it sticks in your mind. My grandma comes from Galway, so she was Connemara based. I think still Kildare. But she came from that lineage, and her family lived in that area for fucking ages, so maybe it's a maternal memory that's been passed down through my sort of gypsy heritage. I'm sitting there going, don't forget this shit. And I'm sitting there going, I don't remember being there in the first place, Grandma. It's like, this is one of your memories. It's just these weird references that you pick up from nowhere, you know. It's so weird, but it's meant to mean something. So maybe your ancestors are sort of passing down these metaphorical dreams that have some kind of attached meaning. And you're supposed to just get it because, hey, it's your cultural heritage. This shit's in your DNA. It's been passed down through the waters that your ancestors have drunk and absorbed into their mitochondrial shit. And you're going, I don't know what this means. I am just not liking that I might drown by a tidal wave. It's fascinating. I love it. And I love the artistry behind it as well, because it's so graphically real. All my dreams are full Technicolor. It's like watching a movie and you're immersed in it, you know, like VR headset. That's the scary part, because you don't know when and how to switch that shit off. And the more darker dreams I have as well. I have dark energy dreams as well, and I feel presences of dark energy. I don't like them. It gives you off a very sour feeling, like a pinpricky sour feeling. You can feel when they're trying to make you afraid. But if you can reason out, this is just a dream, you have no real effect here. This is my subconscious you're diddling with. Is just fuck off. You know, I don't have time for this. And that's you know, eventually how I had to cut the cord with a few of my exes, you know, sort of thing, because they would enter in my dream state, and I'm sitting there thinking, I don't need this, I don't want this. So eventually you just keep telling them to fuck off in your dream, and they fuck off. You're like, I'm not doing this. Go away. You've made your bed. But that's just sort of residual. That's just your psyche. It's. I think it's just psyche. It could be divine intervention. You never know. It could be the divine asking you, sure you don't want this? Are you sure you want to keep remembering this? This is a pain that you might need to remember, and so we've incorporated into your data banks. Don't forget this is what happened. I mean, with my trauma, for example, with my parental input, I know that's shit I have to heal somehow, because I don't remember in the conscious state, but in the subconscious state, my sort of inner child's still sitting there going, this happened to us, we haven't fixed this yet, it hurts still, how can we fix this? And so the best thing I've found in my dreams is to sort of comfort my inner child. Because I was only little when it happened, and I didn't understand what was going on. And I'm still a child in my dreams when I have those horrible dreams, and I'm screaming. I remember a few times, like, I've had dreams, and this is embarrassing as well, because now I know my father-in-laws see me naked, so it's like my ex-father-in-law, I should say, because I tend to sleep naked. I like the freeness of it. But at the time I was living with him because we were saving up for our first apartment. My ex-husband, who was actually, no, I wasn't married to him at the time. He had fucked off somewhere because he'd had a tantrum, and he was trying to find himself some shit. I don't fucking know. He was a dildo from the start. Now, I had been left there in his dad's house because he'd gone off, fuck knows where. He's an idiot. Who leaves someone like that? I don't know. But I was sleeping in the spare room, and I was still friends with the brother who's now was my brother-in-law. And thank God it wasn't him that saw me. It was like, sorry. But I was having these horrible dreams, and I had a PTS dream where I was remembering getting attacked. One of my dad dreams, and I was screaming, and I was calling out for Jeff, and I don't know why. Jeff is my ex-father-in-law's name, and I was screaming, I'm like, and I remembered I was sitting up, and I know I'm naked. It's just embarrassing in itself. I'm screaming because I'm thinking if I can call anyone, it would be him in the house, and you know, you're a large male entity, maybe you can come in and protect me or some shit like that. But I remember him bursting through the door at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going, oh fuck. But it was so real, and I'm sitting there thinking, and it must have been a shock to him, because you don't want to see your son's wife's boobs and shit. So I feel sorry for him and himself, but it was so real that I couldn't decipher from the asleep to when I was awake, and I was being attacked at the time. In my head, it wasn't in the real, and no one was around me in the real or the 3D. You know, it sets you up for a fall a bit, where you can't break the line between the real and the unreal. I say the real, the asleep and the awake. That was embarrassing. Then again, I'll never see him again, so it's not a real problem. So at that time, I flashed those German tourists on the River Dee. I was going into Balmoral Castle, because I'm a tourist, even in my own country. And I was crossing the bridge over the River Dee to get into Balmoral, which is this very famous castle. And I was wearing a dress, and there was a big gust of wind. And I did a Marilyn Monroe. and I was in Scotland, so I wasn't wearing underwear. And so I've never heard women make that noise. You go, oh! You know, instead of go, whoops. But you know, when in Scotland, you don't wear underwear, right? The guys don't, with the kilts. But you know, it was a surprise. I wasn't expecting the gust of wind, but it was quite nice. But you know, it was a gust. I scared the tourists. I don't mind. I'll never see them again. They don't know who I am, right? Yeah, no, but it was funny. You go, oh, that's a bit awkward at the start, but then you go, no, it's quite funny actually. You shouldn't have been looking. But it was unexpected anyway, so it's forgivable. But it's the shock of getting used to somebody seeing you in a vulnerable state. Is it vulnerable? We all just got asses, and some people think they're more important than others. We've all got asses. Get over yourself. Oh, but my dignity. What dignity? Yeah. Dignity's tied in with arrogance, isn't it? Surely, ego. But it was fun. But the dream state is an interesting place to explore, and some people can actually manipulate their surrounds in the dream state. I've tried. I have trouble because I get so immersed in it energetically. I find it hard to manipulate the circumstances. Like, some people will say, okay, this is a bad experience. How can I change bits of it to make it interesting or funny and change the energy of the dream? Like it just to tweak to see, kind of like Inception, just to tweak the movie Inception, just to tweak to see if I can have, you know, fun with it and fuck around with it. I can't get to that stage because I'm too saturated in it. It feels real to me, which is probably not a good thing, because it's hard to break the immersion, and it's exhausting as well. Energetically, it's really fucking exhausting. You wake up tired, more tired than you did when you went to bed. I tried to talk to people in the dreams. I tried to explore a bit more. I tried to link it. I tried to analyze the dreams whilst I'm in the fucking dreams. That's a weird, because then it adds on extra bits to the dream, and you're going, wait, this is just more confusing now. One of the things I started practicing is sort of astral planing. During the daytime, which is essentially a form of meditation where you're sending yourself out energetically to explore the 3D and the 5D. I don't know about the 4D, I haven't looked into that yet. But I use it for particular things. I don't know if it's ethically right, but we all daydream, don't we? Yeah. But that's a form of astral planing. If you're sitting there daydreaming about someone or something, that is astral planing technically, because you're taking your energy and exploring things with it. You're exploring someone else's energy in the 5G. Whilst you might not be there physically, you're there. How do they put it? You're there in spirit. So you're exploring that kind of thing, and there's different things you could do with it. In a negative way, you could be acting as a succubus incubus kind of thing. You might be exploiting someone sexually, which is horrible, completely unethical, and usually backfires because you're just draining someone else's energy. And you know, in those dreams where I've got my exes in there still, I do consider them to be an incubus state, because they're there to drain my energy and try and pull on my emotions and resources. I recognize that, and I sit there and go, no, you know what you did, I'm not going back. So the pull they've had, like when you're fresh broken up with someone, you might have dreams about them. You might feel there's a pull or missing or something, and it's essentially, you know, their energy trying to pull you back. Maybe they haven't let you go or properly, and they're trying to pull you back in to get some kind of something out of you. Maybe they want to, in more innocent terms, just start again, give it another go. But in more sinister terms, maybe they're trying to, you know, lure you back in sexually so that you know, give up whatever you were giving before so they can drain your energy, which is quite horrible. That's when it turns to more like succubus, incubus. When I go into astral planing in a very friendly way, it tends to be more of a healing energy because I don't want to take their energy. I'm trying to put some shit in. And in a sense, maybe it imprints a little bit on them. Maybe they'll remember me afterwards or you know, daydream about me, but it's always a good thing. I'm not sitting there trying to take from them. I'm trying to give to them because there's no point taking from them. It just kills the soul. It's a horrible thing to do. And then the karmic fallout from that would be phenomenally bad. You're draining someone. Don't do that. You want to put some stuff in to give them nice stuff and healing and big hugs and nice fluffiness and be nice. And I've got strong Chiron in my chart anyway, so I want to heal people. I want to help, which is why I went into teaching, because I want to heal and I want to help. I'm practically designed for that kind of shit at this point. I don't know what contract I signed pre-conception in the astral realm, but it seems to be wanting to be fluffy and cute and helping people. I don't know why. I'm a Jigglypuff at heart, I guess. Just don't fuck with it, because Jigglypuffs get angry too. Especially with magic markers, their microphone. Come on, dude. But you know, there's two ways to look at everything as well. Some people see that astral planing side, and if it's come to like a sexualized content, and sometimes mine is sexualized, I have to admit that. Because that is, again, one of the ways I heal. There's good ways of healing with that sexual energy and astral planing, and there's bad ways of healing with that sexual. Well, it's not even healing, is it? It's presenting a problem. Like if someone's being a succubus or an incubus to you sexually in the astral realm while you're astral planing, for example, it's giving you the problem up front. What you do with that is your choice. How you heal. The way you do actual healing in the astral realm, for example, is, you know, you could just pour some energy and make them feel better about themselves. And it's a bit hoish. Maybe. But it's a different set of rules up there compared to what it is down here. It's more fluid. It's less 3D bound by social norms and values and things like that, which is horrible. I mean, that's, I think, honestly, energetically, how I lost my ex-husband, because he was having dreams in the astral realm about someone. Because I remember him having a fever dream about someone and waking up and then me asking him if he's okay, and then he realized it was me, and he went, you know, all completely shut down, body-wise and hormone-wise. I do remember that instance. So clearly someone got to him in the energetic field. But, you know, it's a different set of rules up there. If it's a negative thing, like a succubus or an incubus, and they're draining your energy in a sexual way, and this is all, of course, opinion. It's esoteric opinion. Then the karmic fallout from that, firstly, is that you don't get to keep that person anyway, because it's fake, it's false. You're taking it, it won't be allowed for long. If you're willing to give yourself in a healing way, give some of your energy, knowing that you have an abundance of it and you're not draining your own resources, then it's more favored than the succubus incubus way. But you've got to be very careful with how you do that. And you got to see the faults and the things that need healing first, and you've got to understand where this could go if this person was healed. Is it going to feed some kind of sort of, you know, they talk about an analogy with two wolves inside you. One of them's a dark one and one of them's a light one. Which wolf are you feeding by healing this person? At the same time, if you're using the succubus incubus energy, which I do not recommend because it is evil, you would ask what energy you are draining. Yeah, so I would always want to feed the lighter side of things. I don't encourage feeding the darker side of things because it's an abyss and a void, and it goes nowhere. Succubus incubus are more dark energy based. They like to essentially poison the vessel by feeding on this sort of devil mentality. In tarot terms, the trapped mindset where you've sexualized or hypersexualized their dreams to get them to pull to you. That's where love spells and things come in as well, because you're trying to convince someone, maybe even con someone into staying with you or coming to you in a vampiric energetic sense. It's not sustainable, it's not healthy, it's a horrible thing to do to someone because it traps them. And some people see this as a trophy because they're psychopaths, quite frankly. So I use a love spell and I trap this person and I've got them in my power. It's like it's a power trip, an ego extension, and it's a psychopathy. So we want to do that to someone. It's another method of control. It's like I don't mind giving parts of myself to heal someone, because if it's an excess and if it's useful to them and it helps them on their spiritual path and they can heal and be nice and they feel a bit more positive and stuff like that, I don't mind that. But if you're just gonna be horrible to people, and I suppose it's the extension of the hoeing mindset as well, which I don't like either, where people will use each other for sex and stuff like that. So I don't know, it feels unethical. Ooh, I'm at work. Anyway, that was an interesting discussion. I didn't see it going into that. But okay, I'm going to have to leave it there, I think. So if you're having wonderful dreams, enjoy it. It's obviously someone's sending you some good energy. If you're having horrible dreams, you might want to question what input someone might be having in your life. If you're having very sexy dreams about someone you've just broken up with, then you might want to question what they're trying to get out of this. If you're having weird dreams, try and find the meaning in it to expect. There's got to be something that you're not missing in a 3D that your 5D's picked up on, or something like that, I guess. And this is all, of course, esoteric discussion. This is open field. This isn't, you have to believe this because I said it. This is a case of have a think. It might be something. It might be something you're having trouble understanding or reasoning. So, you know, it's worthwhile looking into, and we'll keep an open mind because we never know. Ultimately, deep down. Oh my gosh, that was all protein shake. Sorry, I'm being gross. Yeah, no, keep an open mind, guys. Have a fantastic Monday, because oh wait, there's a full moon tonight, 25th of fuck, what month is it? March. Yeah, there's meant to be some kind of Aries full moon tonight, so I'm gonna be watching out for that to see what happens there. I've done a card reading, but I haven't had a chance to interpret it yet because I had to rush to work. So I might do that when I get home. It's gonna be interesting if anything comes out of that. Anyway, I'll leave you to it because I gotta go. I've got kindy today, and I hope you have a fantastic Monday. I'll try and do another one either tomorrow or on Thursday or something like that. So take it easy, okay?